There was once someone who did such amazing things and said such wonderful things that people just had to ask who he really was. One time when they asked, he said, "I am the light." I see the love of God in you, the light of Christ comes shining through, and I am blessed to be with you, O holy child of God. The one that said, "I am the light," changed to be in all places, at all times. See this light here? How it's just in one place? Let's change the light. Look, the light's changed. It's growing. It's becoming invisible. It's filling the room with the light of Christ. As you go about this room today, know that the light is there. And when you leave this room today, know that you take the light of Christ with you wherever you go. Now watch carefully so you always know what today's lesson looks like. You have to be ready. After the people of God crossed over the Jordan River, into the promised land, they filled the land. Some of them began to live in Bethlehem. Many years went by. Then a time came when there was no rain, so the wheat could not grow. Some of the people decided to cross over the River Jordan to Moab, where there was food. Naomi and her husband and their 2 sons were among those who went. In the new land, they were happy until Naomi's husband died. And that was very sad. Later, her 2 sons married young women from Moab. Their names were Oprah and Ruth. When these husbands died, Naomi, Ruth, and Oprah were all widows together. Naomi didn't know what to do, so she decided to go back across the desert to her family in Bethlehem. Oprah went to live with her mother in Moab. Ruth stayed with Naomi. She said, "Where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God." Then they traveled to Bethlehem, where they found a small place to live. They went into the nearby fields to gather grain left after the harvest. People let them do that because they were widows. One of the fields belonged to Boaz, a rich man. He saw Ruth. He liked how she worked hard and took care of Naomi. In time, they were married and had children. Now Ruth was a mother and Naomi a grandmother. She could hold her grandson on her lap. When the little boy grew up, he had a son, Jesse. And Jesse had many sons. One of Jesse's sons grew up to be the great King David. He was the great grandson of Ruth. I wonder which part of the story you like best. I wonder which part of the story you think is most important. I wonder where you see yourself in this story. I wonder, is there anything we can take away and still have everything we need to tell the story? I wonder, will you think of this story today? Or maybe you'll think of another story. But whatever you do, know that you take the light of Christ with you wherever you go.